Bally Centaur. Looks good in here. Got like an original style battery, but no corrosion. We'll get that off in a second. Watch the LED flash. Flicker, 1, 2. Okay, so it just gets to 2. That means the 5101 RAM or its socket is bad. So we'll pull the board. I might have to put a new socket in. Depends on the tension on the pins. I'll do an inspection. Probably hard to see, but right here there was some corrosion on these 2 traces. This will cause the 5101 RAM right here to not work if those traces are broken. So what I'll do is I'll buzz them out with my multimeter, set the continuity, and make sure that because in fact the RAM may be okay. If these traces are broken, you know, it's not going to get to certain address lines on the 5101. And that'll make you think that this is a bad chip when in fact it may not be bad. But first I'll check those. If those are good, then I'll put a new RAM in and also check the socket for the 5101. One thing you can do on these RN sockets is you can actually lift the body off and look at the pins themselves and see if any are damaged. And this one, they all look pretty clean. I don't see any corrosion. And then sometimes, not all the time, you can put the plastic body back down. Usually what I do is replace the socket, though. It's really nice, though. You can deal with the pins individually when you got the plastic off. But I always just like to look to see if there's any corrosion. This one's actually pretty clean. So I am going to replace this socket. Just I bent some of the pins over, monkeying with it. I've cleaned this up. So what I'm going to do is buzz this. I happen to know that this trace ends up over here. Look, I got good buzz tone. And I happen to know that this trace ends up about here. Look, that one seems broken. Oh no, there it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th one over. So it looks like these guys are indeed good, but I am still going to put a little fingernail polish clear lacquer over them to prevent any additional corrosion and put in a new socket and a new 5101 RAM. I've done a couple things. First thing is I cleaned out the plated through holes right here where the trace goes from this side to the back side of the board, and I stitched them, meaning I took some stranded wire and just some strands, and I put a strand through it, and then I bend it over the top and bend it over the back and solder it so that it's actually stitched through. And then I take some of my nail polish and went over it. Obviously put a new socket in. I also put a coin style battery in. So I had to drill a hole through the board for the positive lead, and then on this side I put the positive lead. This is the negative lead. Positive lead back through to here. You can see I used a blocking diode because the original battery was a charging battery and the CR2032 was not. So this blocks the charging voltage from coming back and ruining the battery. And that does is it takes my positive through here to here up to this resistor into the last pin of the 5101. Check the voltage right here, put it on the lead of the battery. You can see I get 305, and then here's the other side of the diode. You should see a slight drop because of the diode. So you get 275, and then you end up at the last pin of the RAM right there, and I get my 275. So just to recant, right here I should get my 3 volts, and then my slight voltage drop after the diode, and then right here at the RAM I get my voltage to keep the RAM alive while the game's turned off. The board installed. Let's watch the LED and power on. Flicker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we're up. We just need some sound, and we have a working Centaur, I think. Yep, we got a working Centaur. Let's try a game. It's pretty cool. There's a in the speech board it uses a squawk and talk right here, but there is an echo board here, or reverb board, I guess it would be a better way to put it, and you'll hear the sound has reverb. It's really a nice effect. But here, let's start a game, and you'll hear the sound of echo. Or hear it reverb. Nice reverb. So if you knock down the drop targets in order, it'll give you a power orb. Do it again. So we got 3-ball multi-ball.